Hello friends, this video on reproduction in animals part 11 is brought to you by examfear.com. No more fear from exam. Now let us see how are the female sex cells, that is how are ova produced. So as I said, the female sex cells are called ovum or ova. Now these are produced by the epithelium in ovary. So here also you see the sex cells are being produced by the epithelial cells. In case of males, it is produced by the epithelial cells of the tubules present inside testis. And here it is produced by the epithelial cells present inside the ovary. Now the ovary gets matured only by puberty. So when a baby girl is born, that time the ovary is not matured, therefore the egg cells are not released from ovary. So only when the girl reaches puberty, that is when her menstrual cycle starts, so that is the time when the ovary gets matured, and when the ovary is matured, then the ova gets released. However, you will be surprised to know that the ova, that is the eggs which are present inside the ovary, the formation of that ova starts in the female fetus itself before the baby girl is born. So when the baby girl is inside her mother's womb, that time itself the formation of the ova inside the ovary takes place. But after the girl is born, till she attains puberty, till that time the ovary remains immature. So even though the ova is present inside the ovary, but they are not released because the ovary is not matured. So after puberty, so when the ovary becomes matured, then the eggs start getting released out. Now when a girl is born, at the time of birth, there are about 2 to 3 lakhs of immature eggs which are already present inside the ovary. After attaining puberty, these eggs start getting matured under the influence of hormones which are released from the pituitary gland. So what happens is, one matured ovum, so here inside this ovary you have almost 2 to 3 lakhs of immatured eggs when a baby girl is born. So when the baby girl is born, that time only inside the ovary of that baby you have 2 to 3 lakhs of immature eggs. Correct? But now they are not matured. Now till the girl attains puberty, till that time they remain immature. But after that, after attaining puberty, these eggs start getting matured. So they become mature. How do they become mature? Under the influence of hormones which are released from the pituitary gland. So pituitary gland is a gland which is present in our brain, and it is the master gland. It controls all other glands. It controls the secretion of hormones throughout our body. So that's how these eggs start getting matured. And then what happens is, one matured egg is released from the ovary every 28 days. So either from this ovary or from this ovary. Now in 1 month, only one egg gets released from either of the ovary. If either the right ovary will release the egg or the left ovary will release the egg. And every month there will be one egg which will get released. So that is how the female sex cells are produced. So here you can see, this is how the egg gets released into the fallopian tube. Now how the fallopian tube receives the egg, here comes the function of the fallopian tube. Now if you look at the terminal part of the fallopian tube, see here the tube is quite narrow, but if you look at its terminal part, it is quite wide and it has the shape of a funnel. And this funnel shaped fallopian tube, it has got projections here, and these projections are like hair-like structures, finger-like structures which help to push the egg into the fallopian tube, and that's how the egg is pushed into this tube. So this is how, and this process of release of egg from the ovary into the fallopian tube is called as ovulation. So ovulation occurs every month in a female, but this process of ovulation starts only when a female reaches her puberty, and it continues till the female is in her reproductive phase. Now, a very simple funda to denote the reproductive phase in a female is when the menstrual cycle starts, that is the start of a reproductive phase. When the menstrual cycle stops, maybe around the age of 45 or 50 years, that is the end of the reproductive phase. So during this reproductive phase, every month females will undergo ovulation, where one ovum will be released from either the right ovary or the left ovary. So this release of ovum from ovary is called ovulation. So now what do you understand? So now you understand that the egg or the female sex cell remains in the fallopian tube. Now if we say that the sperm and the ovum needs to meet for fertilization, which is very obvious, in that case the sperm, and where was the sperm released? Now, even when intercourse happened, or even when there was a sexual intercourse between a male and a female, the sperms were released in this vaginal space, in the vagina. Now, the sperms actually need to travel to this fallopian tube in order to meet the ovum, because the ovum cannot move. Ovum is not motile. So now we will see how exactly fertilization will take place. So this is how the egg look like, or the ovum look like. This is the structure of the ovum. It is comparatively bigger in size when compared to the sperm, and it also helps in storage of food. Now, size of the egg cell is another interesting point that we can discuss. Now, as I have mentioned, in human beings, the size of egg cell is always bigger than that of the sperm. But if you look at different organisms, they have different sizes of egg cells. For example, if you talk about the human ovum, in human beings, the size of the ovum is around 0.12 millimeter in diameter. So that is the size of the ovum, 0.12 mm. So which is comparatively bigger. I mean, that is little visible. If you talk about organisms like fishes and frogs, so their egg cells are about 1 mm in diameter. So these are all the diameters which I am talking about. So here you see they are slightly bigger than the human egg cells. Again, if you talk about other organisms like hens, so in hens the size of the egg cell is even bigger, around 50 mm. diameter. So this is quite big when compared to the human egg cell, and that is why the hen's egg cells are visible. We can see them with our naked eye. So it is that big. Now if you talk about some other organisms which have got huge egg cells, so then we should talk about ostrich, because they have got the largest egg cell, and the diameter of this egg cell is around 15 centimeters. So you can just imagine the size of the egg, because when you put it on your palm, it covers your entire palm. So that big it is. So definitely it is visible to naked eye because it is extremely big, and this is the largest cell, because this entire egg cell is just one cell. Because whenever we talk about any of these egg cells, they are made up of just one cell. So in that case, you can see that one cell is 15 centimeters in diameter. One particular cell is so big. So this is the largest cell. So therefore, we see that the sizes of the egg cell varies a lot from one organism to another organism. Thank you. Please visit www.examfear.com to watch more educational videos with a better experience. Please do not forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel for latest updates. Thank you once again.